Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your OJ Joe Chewin Love. Here with another review for AEW Dynamite for post August 10th, 2022. Quake by the Lake edition was last night for AEW Dynamite. Solid show. Um, got a bunch to go over. So, John Moxley and Chris Jericho for the AEW Interim World Title in the main event. Got the Trios Title bracket for the tournament revealed last night. We'll go over that as well. Uh, Pretty much, we'll just dive into it already to start the show. But nonetheless, thank you for joining me. If you're new to the podcast and you want to see more AEW pro wrestling vids, Ring of Honor, Dynamite, Rampage, etc. Find them on the homepage. Click the subscription there in the corner. But thank you. Let's dive into it. Don't want to waste too much time. But so AEW Dynamite Quake by the Lake start off in grand fashion. Brody King for Darby Allin and a Coffin match. Now, Darby Allin, there's been two prior Coffin matches with Andrade and Ethan Page. Both went Darby's favor. I think, yeah, the one with Andrade was this year. Last year was the one with Page at Fighter Fest. So, excuse me. I guess hopefully the trend doesn't continue, as in this doesn't have to always be it with Darby, but the match is great. Very violent, very bloody, but you know, this feud has been growing solidly and nicely between the House Black and Darby. So Coffin was set on the outside. Brody made his entrance. Right as Brody took off his mask and was showcasing the crowd, all of a sudden Darby Allin, who I guess it worked because with the House of Black's entrance, it goes dark, and then they pan to them walking down the aisle, and then they go pitch black, and then they cut to when they get into the ring, but spotlight's on them, and then Darby obviously jumped off the turnbuckle, ambushed Brody with a skateboard that thumbtacks, already cut Brody King less than a minute into the match open with the skateboard. Breway start. So already fighting on the outside. Brody fired back with some stiff shots. He threw Darby into the barricade quite a few times. Darby hit an avalanche code red off the middle rope on to Brody. And like I said, Brody got the advantage back. They set up a table on the outside. Brody went for a splash off the middle rope onto this table with Darby to no avail. Brody crashed and burned. So all of a sudden it looked like Darby was about to go for his dangerous suicida on the outside. All of a sudden the lights go out and they come back on. We see Malachi Black and Buddy Matthews is back. Buddy Matthews, we have not seen in quite a bit. You know, it's good to see him back. He's one of the legit great guys on the roster. They ambushed Darby. Joey Hart was also out there. So they set up a table in the corner, perched Darby up against it. Brody hit a cannonball through Darby, through this table. And then Buddy Matthews went out to the Coffin, went to perch it open to put Darby in. And all of a sudden we see Sting. Sting was out there. Good attention to detail. So obviously Sting has his war paint, his face paint, but some of the effects of the eye in which he got spewed in the mist by Black, the face paint around his left eye was shown. So he took care of Buddy, and he and Malachi Black, tag team match coming. It just feels like it's coming. They didn't really have any physical contact or traded blows. They just had some words, had some sit around. So back with Darby and Brody. So Brody looked like he was about to win. He slammed Darby on the steps. Looked like he was going for a front power slam or running power slam off the apron to Darby through this, put him in this coffin. But Darby took a chain that Brody King wore to the ring. He hit some shots to Brody over the head and then choked out Brody with his own chain. Like a sick visual there as Brody was on the third rope. And then all of a sudden, just like a coincidental bounce, Brody goes limp, falls down into the coffin, the lid slams shut, and Darby Allin wins the coffin match versus Brody King. His 3-0 in coffin matches is Darby Allin. Now, it's in a weird situation because, like I said, hopefully this is always the trend to end a feud with Darby just a little fresh. But this match was great. Now, usually a coffin match should be the end of a feud. And with this tension between Malachi Black and Sting, it doesn't seem like it's the end game. Feels like maybe we'll see some conclusion because House of Black, spoiler but not surprise, they're in the trios tournament. So I'm curious if we'll see some sort of inclusion from the Darby and Sting. We'll see. Speaking of the trios title tournament, the bracket was finally revealed. Now, so on one side, this interesting tournament, Now, only 8 teams, no qualifying matches, unlike the On Heart Cup tournament. So, on one side, we got Death Triangle, the Lucha Brothers, and Pac versus Will Ospreay and Aussie Open. So, first of all, great because Pac, he's been defending that All Atlantic Championship. Now it looks like he'll be back. Also, Will Ospreay. Great to see him back, or it will be great to see him back on AEW TV along with Aussie Open. So that'll be fun. They will face the winner of next week's match, which will be Andrade, Idolo, Roosh, and his brother Dragon Lee versus the Young Bucks and a mystery partner. So, I think it's all likely who it's going to be. I mean, the reports have always been, Tony Khan has been waiting for the return of Kenny Omega for the trios titles. Now, the trios tournament is coming. It's going to be underway. And the Young Bucks have a mystery partner. Well, I think it's all likelihood going to be Kenny Omega be back next week. And with it then, it's a weird dynamic because, Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay have been taking jabs at each other over Twitter and social media the last number of months. So there's that. But also you got the feud with Adam Cole and Red Dragon for the Young Bucks. So in a way it's a win-win and also lose-lose because you're going to be missed out on something. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm pumped for that side. The other side, not so much, but should be intriguing. So, House of Black, just mentioned, they'll face the Dark Order. I imagine it's going to be Silvers, Reynolds, and 10, if I had to guess, with Hangman in their corner versus the House of Black. they will face the winners of the Best Friends versus the Trustbusters, which are Parker Boudreaux, Arya Davari, and Slim J. So, Tony Khan is hot in the Trustbusters, Parker Boudreaux. It's going to be interesting how they handle him. Because, he's been on dark the last few weeks. A guy people have claimed is the next Brock Lesnar, and he certainly has a similar look. And obviously, he got a bad rap in NXT and WWE. Now he's with AEW. See how they handle him. This monster. Sticking with Andrade and Rush. They had a great tornado tag match versus the Lucha Brothers. This was all over the place and fun as you expect for a tornado tag. There are a few tags in this match which I was a little confused by, but nonetheless, this was a fun, wild match as you expect. So, pretty much a hockey fight to start. Then all of a sudden, everyone went flying. So, Made in Japan by Penta, Tope by both Andrade and Rush. Lucha Brothers hit a wheelbarrow splash for 2. Phoenix went for a frog splash, but Andrade got the knees up for near fall. Rush hit a devastating looking cross arm pile driver for a near fall on Phoenix. They tied Penta's mask to the middle rope. And, Penta actually got free for a bit trying to save Phoenix, but he was pretty much out of the match. And then all of a sudden, Rush hits the bull's horns, and Andrade hit the Hammerlock DT. 1, 2, 3. Rush and Andrade get the victory over the Lucha Brothers in a damn good tag team match. Momentum for the Trios tournament. The Young Bucks, they went backstage to talk to Hangman of the Dark Order. Or he was there with the Dark Order, so want to thank him for the save last week and brought up their history and mentioned how asking the question of will he be their partner for next week? And Hangman said, well, I appreciate it, but he feels like it's the Dark Order's moment and he has to be in their corner. And, Hangman said he appreciates it, but thinking it's best for them if they get a partner that hasn't turned on them yet. So the Bucks play off as, hey, okay, good luck, this or that. Brand Color offered up to be their partner, but Bucks told them to shut up. So I think we know. Luchasaurus, who is still coming out to his ominous music, and so we're in all black. He was out there for Anthony Henry. You know, Luchasaurus still has not said anything since Jungle Boy came back. Jungle Boy was on commentary, but you could tell Luchasaurus was so manifesting in heelish manner. He hit an inverted Death Valley driver for the win. Very simple. Afterwards, Christian Cage was backstage and applauded Luchasaurus. Jungle Boy noticed and hightailed it, went right after Christian back. He was being pulled back by some security guards. Luchasaurus actually laid out a few security guards, headbutted Pat Buck. So, interesting. Miro, he cut a promo in the back. Talked about the House of Black. Then all of a sudden we see Julia Hart appear. And then Julia grabs his beard and says, well, embrace the gift as I did. And Miro says, only one female gets to touch me and you are not her. So he turned away and he said, send this message to the House of Black. I'll use this gift to destroy them. And this is the word of the Redeemer. So Miro going after the House of Black, it appears, Miro first Buddy, Miro first Brody, Miro first Black. It's going to be interesting. Jay Lethal and his group, they came out. Pretty simple. Jay Lethal gave Wardlow two options after Battle of the Belts. He said, hey, you can either give me another title shot versus for the TNT title, or B, let's come back, beat you up, and we'll take it for ourselves. So obviously Wardlow came out and he accepted challenge for another title shot from Jay Lethal. And Wardlow offered to take them all out tonight or last night. Then as they came down, FTR's music played. Good to see 7-star FTR back. So they came out and pretty much just chased off the Jay Lethal, saw them sing, and Sanjay Dutt. So another match with Wardlow and Jay Lethal, I don't mind it. But where does FTR fit? I'm not sure. I don't want to see a Trios match, but I'm definitely okay with another match between Wardlow and Jay Lethal. So JS was backstage with Tony Schiavone, and Matt Menard and Angelo Parker said that there will be a celebratory ceremony for after when Jericho becomes two-time Le Champion. Daniel Garcia, after called out Bryan Danielson, said he's the Dragon Slayer for another match next week. And Anna Jay saw someone in the distance, said, well, if you don't think he's the Dragon Slayer, and she choked out this lady, I mean, for a second thought it was Mia Yim. I'm not sure if it actually was or wasn't, but kind of looked. Still not into this Anna Jay heel run, but we'll see. Aaron Solo versus Ricky Starks. Short match here, but Ricky Starks got the win. Starks' spear, ward off an attack from the factory. And Hobbs was obviously pissed. Wrecked havoc backstage as Starks went up the always in the crowd. We may be getting a Hobbs or Starks match at All Out. I would be very good with it. Madison Rain, jumping a little ahead. Best friends. They were confronted by the Trustbusters, talking about their match for Trios Tournament. Arya Daivari actually tried to sway away Orange Cassidy from the best friends. It's no avail. Madison Rain versus Jade Cargill from TBS Title Tournament. This was alright. I mean, so for those who watch my Rampage review, you'll know that I was confused by Athena and Chris Statlander's absence. So it turned out the other day that it was Chris Statlander's birthday. So happy late birthday to, or belated birthday, Chris Statlander. And B, that apparently she's now injured again, which is unfortunate, but nonetheless, this match is alright. Jade by Jade for the win. Afterwards, Athena, she ambushed Jade Cargill, and gonna see Athena back. It looks like a match is gonna be brewing between the two for All Out, which I would not mind. However, it's unfortunate that Chris Statlander is hurt. Hopefully, it's not as bad as her big knee injury, but hope that she heals ASAP. Thunderstorm, she was back. They were backstage. They announced how Chris Statlander is hurt again, and Tony Storm moves into the number one contender spot. And Tony Storm will be in action next week. And they said, well, business got to be business. And Tony talked about her aspirations to be the AEW World Women's Champion. Seems like we may be getting another match All Out. Good. Rampage Friday got some interesting stuff. So, we'll hear from the tag champs, Keith Lee and Swerve. We'll hear from Bryan Danielson ahead of his 2 out of 3 Falls match with Daniel Garcia. Gun Club versus Eric Redbeard and Danhausen. So, cool stuff there. Parker Boudreaux will make his AEW TV debut for Sunny Kiss on Rampage. And then next week for House of the Dragon lineup. So, Bryan Danielson versus Dan Garcia, 2 out of 3 falls. And we got this trios match, quarterfinal, Young Bucks, and a mystery partner versus Andrade, Roosh, and Dragon Lee. So, good stuff. Main events. Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley for the AEW Interim Championship. This was... Now, it's hard not to admire how good Chris Jericho pays to himself. You know, Jericho has been in the wrestling business over 30 years and might be in some of the best shape we've ever seen him. I mean, what this guy has done, you know, been able to still do, I mean, it's crazy. So, Moxley asked for the last survivor of Sue Hart's dungeon and asked for Lionheart Chris Jericho. Jericho actually came out to Lionheart and, you know, got the Lionheart looking Titantron. I mean, fun. Got the old school pants. I mean, you want Lionheart, you got Lionheart. You know, pretty damn good match, I'd say. I'm not really sure if it was better than their first match at Revolution back in 2020. I have to relook, but it was a good match. So, Moxley was bust open, as it seems more and more. Jericho had a line salt, hence Lionheart for a near fall. Hit a top rope Hurricanrana for 2. Moxley, who worked the arm earlier, went for a crossface. Jericho got out of it. Hit a codebreaker counter for a near fall. Sammy Guevara, who's in the crowd, he threw Floyd the bat, but overshot it and threw it out of the ring. So Jericho had to go get it. And while Aubrey Edwards was putting away turnbuckle, Jericho hit Moxley with Floyd the Bat in the face for 2. Jericho, I'm not sure how many people have kicked out of it. Jericho hit the Juice effect for a near fall. Jericho was bust open by this point. Very big. Moxley walked in a sleeper and rear naked choke. Jericho tapped. Moxley retained. Afterwards, JS came out for the attack on Moxley. The Blackpool Combat Club tried to intervene. Then all of a sudden we hear CM Punk's music hit. He ran out and took care of JS. Moxley turned around. They had a very good face to face. Moxley flipped Punk off, and it seems very likely. CM Punk, John Moxley all out in Chicago for the undisputed AEW World title. Signed, sealed, and pretty much delivered. Good episode of AEW Dynamite Quake by the Lake. Good stuff. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see how So Punk is back. Bryan is going to be back. Omega is all likely going to be back. And with Punk back, MJF's going to be back soon. So after all the injuries, AEW is starting to get healthy again, which you'll have to see. And people complaining about the ratings and the change of power in WWE. AEW seems to be following suit. So just wait and should be fun as we gear towards All Out. But nonetheless, that's the episode for you guys. Thank you for joining me on this review for you. If you like this video, click the like, leave a thumbs up. Help out the channel, help out the video. But thank you all. Be safe. See you guys on Saturday for AEW Rampage. Adios. Peace.